Date on Fox 14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, some schools are taking a different approach to education when it comes to winter weather. Fernanda Silva will have more on that coming up.
Plus, the Joplin Library has some local high school artwork hanging up for display.
And we've got bitterly cold temperatures out there, maybe even a few light flurries for us. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is just after 7 o'clock on this finally Friday in the 4 states, and it is a cold Friday in the 4 states.
That it is.
Thanks to all the cold and the snow, one thing we've had a number of since Christmas break wrapped up, snow days.
Oh yeah, the kids finally just got back.
Yeah, they get a couple of days in at least.
Well, exactly. So some local schools saw students for the first time yesterday since the winter weather hit the 4 states. While some districts used snow days, others also took advantage of AMI days.
Now, AMI stands for Alternative Method of Instruction, which means students are studying from home and us parents are attempting to be teachers on some things that we don't really understand anymore. KOAM's Fernanda Silva spoke to one local school district to understand how all of that works.
Joplin resident Sarah Shaw had to be creative to keep her kids busy while the weather outside was frightful.
We got like a little mini cooking kit for my son. He's 7, and so he wanted to learn how to cook. So I taught him how to make eggs for the first time.
Besides working on the project she planned, her son also had to engage in school activities.
Science, reading, writing, and so we had to work on those every day. That was a little bit of a challenge.
Joplin schools, as others in the 4-state area, had some AMI, Alternative Method of Instruction days. In Carthage, for example, students could enjoy one snow day and had 2 AMI days.
I think the concept was born during the pandemic, but I also think that just now that the technology is there for a lot of schools and that kids have the ability to learn from home.
For the Carthage School Superintendent, AMI days are a way to keep students engaged.
Coming off of a Christmas break and a new semester, it's one of the reasons why we've implemented a few AMI days is just to get kids back into the routine of being in the classroom and being academics.
For some students, a way to keep them busy.
If it's too cold outside, I don't like staying out there for very long, so it's nice to have something to come inside and do when you're not outside doing stuff.
Boyer says it all comes down to the safety of these students and these staff.
We consider our kids that are waiting at the bus stops. We consider our kids that are driving. We consider our teachers that are driving, bus drivers behind the wheel. And we also think about the kids that are at home that may not have heat or may not have meals. And so there are times after a delay, after we've been out for multiple days of trying to get kids back in because we know that that's the safest place for those kids.
Reporting in the 4 states, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Not every district in the area used AMI days. Carl Junction schools, for example, chose not to use them. We tried reaching out to that district, but they were not available for interviews yesterday.
Like I said, the AMI days, I get it. You know, it's a great way to keep kids engaged, keep them learning and everything.
Yes.
I do miss the days when we were young, when a snow
day
was
a real snow day.
And unfortunately for us parents, you know, they're teaching kids new things, new ways, and as I mentioned the other day, you know, Colt brought me a multiplication assignment. To him, he's like, it's multiplication. I looked at it. I did not understand how they were teaching it. I had to Google what I was looking at to figure out how to help him out with it because it's not how I learned it, you know. It's changed a little bit.
Well, lucky they're back in school now, so
absolutely
getting properly taught.
However, they're going to want to bundle up going out to school, or if they're hopefully at school by now or on their way, and hopefully they're bundled up. It is cold out there. Our camera on top of the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. Beautiful sunrise, a great start to the day from the sky, but it is cold out there and it is very windy as well. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline, plenty of folks getting their day started out there. The good news is, at least over the last couple of days, we got plenty of melting done. And we got some clouds out there off to the east and some building in from the southwest. And under those clouds, at least for the next hour or so, we could see a couple of stray flurries. We also have wind chill advisories across the area running through at least Saturday, 11 a.m., noon. Now these will expire at noon on noon today for Oklahoma and Arkansas, and then they'll go back into effect tonight and run through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. 7 in Joplin, 6 in Pittsburgh right now. We're looking at highs no better than the upper teens. We'll have those winds out of the northwest gusting to 30 and partly cloudy skies. We will warm back up again. This Arctic blast doesn't last nearly as long. We'll have the details on your full forecast here in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Operations at the Jasper County Courthouse grinded to a halt Wednesday night after a pipe burst and flooded the building. The pipe burst around 6 on Wednesday. County officials say that the rupture went unnoticed for a prolonged period of time. The fire and sheriff's departments both responded, and the county officials say when they arrived, they found ankle-deep water in the road. Crews quickly shut off both the water and power to the building. Offices on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st floors have extensive damage. ServPro workers arrived within an hour of first responders and began clearing the damage. The workers were at the courthouse most of the day.
We can't do anything until we put it all back together again. That's going to take a little bit of time here in Carthage, and we'll proceed with that as soon as we can. But this is the morning after. We're still sorting through some of this stuff. Already talked to a contractor, already talked to our IT people, already talked to our furniture people. We've had discussions already, but we're just not there yet.
People seeking to visit with the assessors or collectors' offices will be unable to do so until early next week and will have to visit the Joplin office once power to the server is restored. Indigo Sky Casino in Wyandotte, Oklahoma notifies victims of a data breach incident. The casino says it learned about the breach on December 1st. The breach included employees' personal information, including names, driver's licenses, social security numbers, and medical information, as well as some patron information. Indigo Sky has since taken steps to secure their systems and notify law enforcement. And the city of Parsons, Kansas is warning residents about unsafe drinking water. Officials say the water system violated a drinking water standard by having high levels of haloacetic acids, which is used as a disinfectant in the water system. They say there is no immediate risk to the public, but if the high levels are consumed over a long period of time, it can increase the risk of cancer. The city and CDHE are investigating the issue and how to solve it. And the Joplin Public Library is showcasing the work of some Joplin High School art students. The library yesterday opened the exhibit called Surrealism. It featured drawings and paintings made by students in the surrealist style, which often features unnerving, illogical scenes.
It's really encouraging and inspiring. I like when we get to do things like this with younger groups because I think it's really important that younger people see what it's like to be a working artist and to experience having your work on a wall in an institution.
I is like such an open place that you can just fill in with anything, and so I was like, I could just do a close view of an eye and fill it in with something that's not normal.
The pieces were judged yesterday, with the top 3 being recognized. And an international manufacturer of industrial batteries will set its first North American headquarters in Missouri. TAB announced yesterday the establishment of a more than 66,000 square foot headquarters and assembly facility in Liberty, Missouri, creating 50 new jobs. The company's new location will provide proximity to its customer base and the ability to quickly distribute products throughout North and South America. Up next, Juliana Crow joins us this morning to share how you can participate in a charity event this weekend. And later, we will hear how a couple of Michigan firefighters got off to a fast start. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Beautiful morning, Scotty, and we have an early game today. That injured list, it's getting...
Dilates our eyes. And beauty is something we can create right now at Floor & Decor.
A charity event aimed towards helping the Jasper County CASA organization starts tomorrow. Juliana Crow, one of the organizers of the event, joins us this morning to share how you can participate. Welcome, Juliana.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, tell us about this horse competition.
Yes, so it is a basketball tournament. You know, the old game horse, where if somebody makes it and then you miss it, you get a letter and you spell out the word horse. So we have a couple trophies here that we plan to give away because we're going to have a kid division and an adult division.
All right.
So kids just need to be, 8 years or older, and it's $10 to play, and all the proceeds are going to go to the Jasper County CASA.
I love that.
So.
Now, CASA does a lot of great work in our community. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of moving parts whenever it comes to kids in foster care or kids that are placed like with a family member kind of thing. And most of the moving parts are, geared towards the parents or the foster parents and stuff like that, and courts and this and that. And so they saw that there was a real need for people to be right there alongside the child. And so that's what CASA is. So it's a court-appointed special advocate for children. And so I volunteer there, and it's wonderful because sometimes you're the only familiar face that a child sees when they go through this.
Absolutely. That's great work. Thank goodness. And so people that want to sign up to join this, where can they do so?
Yep, so they can call our office number, which is on the flyer, but it's 417-385-8272, or they can just show up at the K1 building in Carl Junction. It's the kindergarten first grade school. And they can just show up at 9:30. We'll get them registered then, and we plan to start at 10 o'clock.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like a great event. A lot of fun for kids and adults.
I know, I'm excited.
Yes, all right. I look forward to seeing that. Well, make sure you check out the fun horse game going on tomorrow, presented by CASA. And we'll be right back with more news coming up after this.
Game-changing FlexPath format. You can earn your nursing degree without putting life on hold. Imagine your future differently with Capella University.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:15, almost 7:16 now on this Friday morning here in the 4 states. We got a beautiful sunrise from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. It's also shaking a bit as we've got gusty winds out there, and we're going to see those winds gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour today, and that's why we have wind chill advisories, which we'll touch on in just a moment. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line, plenty of folks getting their day started out there. At least the good news is we managed to warm up enough the last couple of days that we got melting done on most of the roadways across the area. So looking a lot better, even from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue south of Pittsburgh. Wind chill advisories across the region. Now, wind chill advisories are a locally issued thing. They're issued by individual forecast offices, and because there are several of them that cover our area, we have different expiration times. For the bulk of southeast Kansas, they run through 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties, and then into southwest Missouri, they run until noon tomorrow. Oklahoma and Arkansas, they run until noon today, and then they'll go back into effect at midnight tonight and run through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning across the area as well. So, and that's again for wind chills, it could be upwards of 20 below zero, which we've already been seeing this morning. We do have some clouds out there, some off to the east, some building in from the southwest, and at least for the next hour or so, could see again some additional stray flurries, but nothing significant out there by any means. Currently in Joplin, though, take a look at that. It is 7 degrees. It feels like 12 below out there with a north breeze at 18, gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. Temperatures around the region still, for the most part, into the single digits out there, save the southeast, where Monette, Cassville, Bentonville into the low teens, but that makes no difference when we factor in the wind, putting those wind chills anywhere from 10 to almost 20 degrees below zero, and that's where they've been all morning long. So if you are out today, make sure you're bundled up, make sure you're staying warm, and you're just prepared for this cold weather. So again, mostly cloudy skies. There's a few more clouds build in from the southwest. A few stray flurries will be possible. We'll make it to the low teens by late morning with partly cloudy skies. We're going to go partly cloudy today, but bitter as temperatures only make it into the upper teens, maybe a couple of 20-degree readings out there. And again, those northwest winds gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. We head into this evening, partly cloudy skies. We're going to fall back into the single digits overnight. We'll be mostly clear overnight, and we'll see a few additional clouds for us on our Saturday. Monday, we could start with a brief wintry mix, and then temperatures will warm, and Monday kicks off a week-long stretch of shower chances, maybe even a rumble of thunder or two, but this isn't going to be rain all day every day. We're just going to have those chances for showers as we go into each day next week. And you can see on the future track, there's pauses here and there. We'll have breaks, and then we'll see additional showers roll into the area. Looking ahead, again, low 20s tomorrow, breezy again, winds gusting up to 30. So another cold one Sunday, more clouds out there. As we head into next week, though, we get those rain chances increasing. On the flip side of that coin, temperatures increasing, climbing into the upper 40s by the middle of the week, and overnight lows look a lot better too in the mid to upper 30s. So just a couple, 3 cold days, and it's going to get back to normal around here. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
CeraVe with 3 essential ceramides helps restore my natural barrier so I can lock in moisture and we can feel it long after. CeraVe moisturizers.
Well, Milford Baby was ready to say hello to our world a little too quickly earlier this month.
Elle Myers had a chance to have a conversation with the EMTs who delivered the baby boy.
Baby boy Wisner was ready to say hello to the world earlier this month when he was delivered in the hallway of his family's home. Now, the 2 EMTs who helped deliver the healthy 7-pounder tell me this sort of situation is pretty rare.
Didn't really have time to think too much on the call. It happened so fast. I've had training, but I've never had to use my training.
Nathan Jerome and Chris Golofsketsky weren't even 5 minutes into their shift this week when the call came in.
Dad was not expecting to be as quick. I was gathering information from him. I said congratulations, and he said thanks. He's like, I wasn't expecting it this quick. The newborn's brother, they showed him the baby, seemed excited. Mom was in good spirits.
The 2 EMTs have a combined nearly 30 years on the job, and neither one of them have ever delivered a baby in this type of situation. In fact, they tell me their own kids were delivered by C-sections, so this type of delivery is one they were trained for, but had never experienced.
Yeah, it was neat. Like, it was definitely exciting. We definitely had a call that I remember. To be a part of it was really cool.
Now, the 2 EMTs tell me their colleagues have razzed them just a little, asking if they're packing their catcher's mitts for their next shift.
Boy, talk about being ready to enter the world rather quickly. I mean, a little too excited. But
Thank goodness for first responders.
Indeed. Thank them, and welcome to the world, little guy.
Well, coming up, new tax laws could affect small businesses. Amber Jenkins will share more on that story.
And we've got wind chill advisories out there. It is cold, but it will be at least some sunshine out there. We'll take another look at your forecast when we come back.
Their incredible run alive. The NFC Divisional Playoffs, Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on Fox.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. The time now is 7:26 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. Well, Leggett & Platt is restructuring and expects to eliminate 900 to 1,100 jobs and close at least 15 facilities. The manufacturing company, headquartered in Carthage, produces components for use in bedding, furniture, seating, and home offices. The company approved a restructuring plan, but has not yet said what specific facilities will close. And job seekers are encouraged to take part in the first State of Kansas Agency's Virtual Job Fair of 2024. The virtual fair will highlight a host of employment opportunities across the state's 98 government agencies with more than 700 positions available. Registration is required to participate in the event, which runs from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. this coming Wednesday, January 24th. Interested job seekers can head over to KOAMnewsnow.com for more information. The Wyandotte Fire Department welcomes its newest firefighting tool today, a brand new truck. The 11-foot wet rescue truck has a ton of storage space, including a 300-gallon tank with an integrated 12-gallon foam cell and a 100-foot hose. The team looked forward to the truck so much that they braved recent sub-zero temperatures to pick it up. And Missouri Southern hosted its Campus Involvement Day. This annual event was for all registered student organizations, departments, campus clubs, or programs to promote their organizations to the student body. The event provided a way to introduce new students to organizations and opportunities.
I think it gives them a chance to see where they can fit in or where they can belong, or maybe just find out stuff that they never knew even existed.
Every single time they have one of these involvement fairs, I get so excited. There's so many new clubs this year. That's probably my favorite part about it, is just getting to see all of the different clubs that we have going on.
The Campus Activities Board plans to host an escape room event on Thursday, February 1st. And a new anti-money laundering law requires small businesses to report information about ownership to the federal government. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke with a local tax specialist who says small businesses need to be aware of this new requirement.
At the start of January, the Corporate Transparency Act went into effect, meaning small businesses must report financial records to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. The purpose, to help prevent money laundering.
It would be small businesses. There are exceptions to larger corporations and a few other entities. But for the most part, if you're not already reporting to FinCEN in some way and you're a business, you should look into this and find out whether or not it applies to you.
Businesses have until January 1st of 2025 to make sure this is all filed, but if they miss the deadline, the consequences could be costly.
There are civil penalties. It's $500 a day that you're in non-compliance. There are criminal penalties, up to 2 years imprisonment and up to a $10,000 fine.
The Corporate Transparency Act was introduced in 2021 and approved in 2023. However, some small business owners might not be aware of this new requirement.
As soon as we found out that that really was going into effect with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, it hasn't really been talked about a lot. We really wanted to get it out to our members so they knew that this is a form that they're going to have to fill out. It is required.
Even new businesses created in 2024 needs to file.
With the different stipulations, when your business was incorporated, anytime after this year from January 1st of 2024, you have 90 days to fill out the paperwork, and anytime before that, you have until the end of the year.
Small business owners can file this information themselves, but the Chamber of Commerce recommends reaching out to a professional.
Not recommended to do that since this is a first time. Nobody really knows the ins and outs of this paperwork at this time.
Reporting in Jasper County, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The federal government is offering webinars and other information to help business owners navigate the new rules. Now let's take it over to Chris for a look at the weather.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a cold and breezy start out there. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin looking great. Folks getting their day underway. The roads are clear. In the last couple of days, we've been warm enough to get some melting done, but today, not going to be the case at all. We are looking at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Some clouds out to the east, clouds building in from the southwest, and over the next hour or so, they could generate a few stray flurries here and there, but nothing major. We do have wind chill advisories across the entire area with varying expiration times, and the ones in Oklahoma and Arkansas, they'll expire technically at noon today, but then they'll go back into effect tonight and run through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And as for wind chills, it could be upwards of 20 below zero out there. Still dangerously cold regardless. 7 in Joplin, 6 in Pittsburgh. As we get our day underway, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, northwest winds gusting to 30, and the best we're going to do if our temperatures is going to be into the upper teens. We are going to warm up, and we do have some rain chances on the way. We'll look at that full forecast here in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, Texas is upping the ante in a high-stakes poker showdown with the Biden administration over federal land seized by the state to deal with the border crisis. Fox News correspondent Matt Finn is in Eagle Pass, Texas, as we wait to see who blinks first.
New video today shows Texas installing even more fencing and razor wire inside Shelby Park, defying the Biden administration's deadline to reopen the property to the feds. Fox cameras captured this moment when the Texas National Guard told migrants approaching the razor wire barricade to turn around to Mexico. The United States government is suing Texas, arguing its agents need access to this 2.5-mile stretch of land around Shelby Park, especially during emergencies. Texas DPS tells Fox News that Texas kicked the feds out from this park because it thinks it can do a better job deterring migrants, claiming the Biden administration removes the state's razor wire and doesn't care about securing the border.
It's not normal. It's not humane for anyone to cross a river, including children. It really shows how the federal government is attacking Texas for trying to prevent that, because what they want to do, they want to keep the border open.
Also, a major change in procedure. Texas is now arresting migrants illegally crossing into the U.S., which Governor Abbott implemented under his emergency declaration. And a 31-year-old Haitian migrant who arrived in Texas in 2022, deemed inadmissible and given a notice to appear, was arrested in Boston. The suspect was first arrested last year for allegedly raping a developmentally disabled person, but was released. ICE writing, disturbingly, and despite our filing an immigration detainer, this individual was released back into the community by the criminal court. The lawsuit between the federal government and Texas largely centers around this razor wire. Texas does not want federal agents touching it. In Eagle Pass, Matt Finn, Fox News.
And that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, the Cornell Complex has a few events coming up. Emily Frankowski joins us to share more.
Ordinary is the opposite of beautiful.
And lift chairs with well over 100 in stock now. So what are you waiting for? Come see us at Wayside Furniture, North Main and Fountain Road in Joplin.
Emily Frankowski is with us this morning. Emily is the Executive Director of Connect to Culture. She's here to share some information on some upcoming events that you may not be aware of. Welcome, Emily.
Thanks, Caitlin.
All right, so what do you guys have coming up?
Oh my gosh, we've got so much coming up at the Cornell Complex. That's where Connect to Culture has our performances now, and Spiva Center for the Arts is in there as well. So any given day, there's something to see or experience and do. But we're here today to talk about upcoming performances and maybe a little look back at 2023 and all the great things that happened there. But coming up just tomorrow, so on Saturday at 4 p.m., which is a nice afternoon show, we're having Glenda Austin return to the Cornell Complex stage. And she's going to be performing Broadway favorites of hers on piano.
Oh, wow.
And she is a local composer. She also teaches a lot. She's super known in the community. Everyone seems to know Glenda. I am so blessed to know her. She's such a wonderful person and such a talented pianist and composer. So, you know, she's going to play things from Oklahoma, West Side Story, all of those favorite Broadway tunes that you know and love. So you will know every song she plays. She also has a couple of vocalists that are going to join her on stage, and a super secret special thing happening during the performance that I'm sworn to secrecy, so I can't say. So you got to come. And tickets are only $10 to $15, so it's very affordable.
Amazing.
We want everyone to start the new year off right with a great performance.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun, right here in our own backyard.
Exactly. And then next week is something for kiddos and families to enjoy. We've got Uno Dos Tres Andres, which is a Latin Grammy-winning artist combo, husband-wife duo that are coming to the Cornell Complex to get families and kids on their feet. They are bilingual artists, so they'll sing both in Spanish and English.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
It's like the Wiggles, but also Dora Explorer.
Absolutely. Mix. Both of them mix in this performance.
How
and
fun.
Just so much fun, so much energy. This is something really fun to bring kids. Kids are free. Parents, you'll have to register them still, and you'll pay $15, but kids are free. It's so great. We did that this year to make it more accessible for families to come together.
Yes.
And it has been working, and we've seen more people in the seats, so we're really excited to host them and just get people dancing and having a great time.
I love that. And where can people go to learn more or get tickets?
Yeah, just visit connecttoculture.org, or you can call us as well. Our number is on our website, connecttoculture.org. And you can also stop by anytime Tuesday through Saturday, 1 to 5 p.m. Our box office is open then.
Great.
So great time to come get some tickets. And full February, every weekend we have performances. So
wonderful.
Just get a taste. Go to our website, take a look at all the performances. There's bound to be something that you like.
Thank you so much, Emily. And stick around because we got more news coming up right after this.
Welcome to Miss Daisy's, where style meets comfort. It's your space. Come shop with us at Miss Daisy's Home and Decor and give your home the makeover it deserves.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:40 now on this Friday morning. Coming up on 7:41, got a few clouds out there, and we are breezy across the area as well this morning as we get this Friday underway, and of course, bitterly cold as well. That was our camera on the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. 20th and Rangeline, MoDOT camera there. Plenty of cars on the roadway. Folks starting their day, definitely have the heat running out there, and the KDOT camera 69 East 520th south of Pittsburgh. The good news is, take a look. We've got clear roadways. Over the last couple of days, we've been warm enough and we've been able to get enough melting done that we're good there, just in time for it to get cold again. Wind chill advisories across the region running through Saturday, 11 a.m. out here, noon on Saturday here. Now, these ones at Oklahoma, Arkansas expire at noon today, and then they'll go back into effect at midnight tonight and run through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we could see wind chills down to 20 below zero out there. So very cold temperatures for sure. Taking a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker, a few clouds here and there, and under those clouds there may be a stray flurry or two as we head through the next hour or so here, and then we'll just start to go partly cloudy and cold. Not like it's not cold already. 7 in Joplin, feels like 12 below with a north breeze at 18, gusting upwards of 25, and we could continue to see wind gusts upwards of 30 miles an hour out there. Temperatures around the region still holding on into the single digits for the majority of us, save Bentonville and Cassville sitting at 0 and 11, so not too bad out there, I guess. I'm just kidding. Seriously, it is dangerously cold again. Wind chills anywhere from 10 upwards of 20 degrees below zero out there this morning. So hopefully you are bundled up today, and kids will want to stay bundled up when they come home from school because it's not going to get much warmer as we head into the afternoon. Again, a few stray flurries, mostly cloudy skies into the low teens by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, we are looking at bitterly cold highs only into the upper teens, maybe a 20-degree reading here or there. Partly cloudy, breezy still with winds again gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour out of the north-northwest. Tonight through the evening, partly cloudy, will be mostly clear overnight, and again very cold out there. Temperatures back into the single digits with those wind chills upwards of 20 below zero. And as we head into tomorrow, cold and windy again on our Saturday. Partly cloudy though, we'll be in the low 20s. Still cold Sunday, clouds building in, mid 30s. But as we head into next week, that's where we at least get some good news, not only in the form of some more much needed rain across the area, and we're talking rain. We're also going to see temperatures climbing back into the 40s. Now, on Monday, we could begin with a brief wintry mix out there, but it'll warm up enough that we'll see that transition to rain pretty quickly. Rain chances will hold on all the way into Friday. Temperatures, though, also warming all the way into Friday, upper 40s. And then we may even start reaching the 50s as we head into next weekend. So just 3 days of Arctic air today, tomorrow, and Sunday, and then we'll start to get back to normal again. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Caitlin now for Consumer Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, for the first time in a long time, Walmart managers are getting a raise. On Thursday, the major retailer issued a statement saying it's increasing their average pay at more than 9%. That comes out to around $128,000, up from $117,000 average. Walmart said this represents the first adjustment to store managers' pay scale in more than a decade. The pay range, previously starting at $65,000, will now start at $90,000. Managers can also bring in more money with bonuses based on store profits. This pay hike goes into effect February 1st. And a new report shows renting is still more affordable than buying a house in most of the country. The rental affordability report from real estate data provider Adam shows renting a 3-bedroom unit is cheaper than a similarly sized house in 90% of markets in the U.S. Adam says costs for both options are continuing to rise, which is causing a financial burden for average workers. The report also shows the most affordable regions for renting include the Midwest and the South. And some Macy's employees received some bad news Thursday. The roughly 166-year-old department store chain plans to cut more than 2,300, or about 3.5% of its workforce. It's also planning to close 5 of its stores. Those stores will be in some of the mall locations. This all in an effort to trim costs and redirect spending as consumers are shopping more online and demanding value and bargains. Stores that will be closed are located in Arlington, Virginia, San Leandro, California, La Jolla, Hawaii, Simi Valley, California, and Tallahassee, Florida. The stores will close in early 2024. And a huge section of the country has started 2024 with unusually cold temperatures. And a new system is on the move Thursday, and it's bringing more extreme cold and snow to the central and eastern U.S. The extreme cold comes with a price tag, one that Americans may feel now and later. Karen Kiva explains from Washington.
The extreme winter weather and frigid temperatures felt coast to coast this week. can come with hefty costs, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. NOAA estimated overall damages and costs of a northeast winter storm and cold wave last February that produced some of the coldest wind chills in U.S. history at about $1.8 billion. A cold snap that knocked out power to customers from Texas to Maine in December 2022 cost about $8.7 billion. Tama Carlton is an environmental and resource economist at the University of California, Santa Barbara. She says there can be individual household costs for the extreme cold.
If you work in a sector that requires you to be outside, like construction or mining or agriculture, it's probably a lot harder to do your job in these events. And so that affects household incomes as well as labor supply and productivity in those sectors.
Higher heating costs, even for just a week or two, can pose a challenge and risks.
We should be thinking about the households who are forced to trade off increased health risk from this cold event against paying more money to keep the home warmer.
Extreme cold can also take a toll on crops and put stress on livestock, which could eventually push up grocery prices. The current stretch has also been tough for airlines and passengers. Last weekend saw more than 6,000 cancellations around the U.S. Saturday through Monday, according to FlightAware. And when a flight is canceled, airlines are required to provide refunds. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
And those are our top stories in Consumer Watch this morning. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
As we and that's only the beginning. Thunder Friday nights. See the entire schedule on KOAMNewsNow.com.
We all know who Travis Kelce's biggest fan is, singer-songwriter Taylor Swift. But what about Travis's brother, Jason Kelce? Well, the longtime center for the Philadelphia Eagles has a wife and kids, so they're his biggest fans.
But there's a McDonald's worker in the Broomall area who can also be considered in that club. Madeline Wright reports.
Go Birds!
Danielle Bonham is a lifelong Birds fan, so it was a dream come true when beloved Eagles center Jason Kelce pulled up at the drive-thru of the McDonald's in Broomall where she works. Kelce lives in Haverford. What did he say to you?
I said, oh my gosh. He asked me my name. I told him I was one of his biggest fans, told him my birthday was coming up. He asked how old I was going to turn. And he wished me happy birthday and told me it was good to meet me.
That was back in July when she was going through one of the toughest times of her life, a divorce.
He gave me the boost of confidence at that time that I needed, like right place, right time. I'm grateful for him.
Since then, Bonham says she's served Kelce 6 more times, including Wednesday when he autographed her Eagles jersey.
Me and my boss just had a feeling that he was going to come in. He usually comes in Mondays or Wednesdays.
Bonham says Kelce usually orders 2 sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffins, and depending on the weather, either a large hot black coffee or a large iced black coffee.
Anybody that's crossed paths with this man is lucky.
She wishes him all the best if he chooses to retire.
He loves the people. The stuff he's done for this community and the city of Philadelphia, it's amazing. I wish more people in this world existed like him.
As for this autographed jersey, she says she'll cherish it for the rest of her life, a symbol of the special bond she shares with number 62.
And although there were rumors of Kelce retiring after the Eagles' postseason loss to Tampa Bay this past weekend, Kelce says he will address the issue later.
Many sports analysts say Kelce will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So it's still very, very, very awesome. And it's great that she was able to meet him.
Great guy.
And he goes to McDonald's. That's what I was telling you. If I was ever elected as president, we'd load up the motorcade and go to McDonald's. I don't want the White House kitchen stuff. I want to go to McDonald's. I mean, that's what I grew up on. That's what I'm going to have.
There you go.
That's what you got to do. And you may want something warm and toasty today as we're going to be cold. In fact, dangerously cold. Wind chill advisories out there. Look at our camera on the Cornell complex shaking in the wind. It looks great, just doesn't feel that way. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. Look at all these cars. You know, I've lived here all my life, and it just always fascinates me where all these folks come from every day. Skywatch Storm Tracker, clouds out there, and underneath those clouds could be a few light flurries, but of course that won't add up to much. Wind chill advisories across the area running into our Saturday at varying times. 11 noon, and then 10 a.m. on Saturday. Now, these ones will expire at 12 today, but then they'll go back into effect tonight, run through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. 7 in Joplin, 6 in Pittsburgh. Highs today only into the upper teens under partly cloudy skies with winds out of northwest gusting upwards of 30. We're going to warm up and we're going to get rained on. We'll talk about that in the forecast after this and have the news you need to know when we come back.
His favorite premier gaming destination is starting 2024 with plenty of cash and Go Rewards prizes.
And earned numerous medals. We are proud to salute David Loizel, a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Indigo Sky Casino in Wyandotte, Oklahoma notifies victims of a data breach incident. The casino says it learned about the breach on December 1st. The breach included employees' personal information, including names, driver's license numbers, social security numbers, and medical information, as well as some patron information. Indigo Sky has since taken steps to secure their systems and notify law enforcement. Leggett and Platt is restructuring and expects to eliminate 900 to 1,100 jobs and close at least 15 facilities. The manufacturing company, headquartered in Carthage, produces components for use in bedding, furniture, homes, and vehicles. The company approved a restructuring plan, but has not yet said what specific facilities will close. And at the start of January, the Corporate Transparency Act went into effect, meaning small businesses must report financial records to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. The purpose? To help prevent money laundering. A Webb City Tax Service and the Carthage Chamber of Commerce believe a lot of local businesses aren't aware of the change. Businesses have until January 1st, 2025 to make sure records are filed, but if they miss the deadline, the consequences could be costly.
And it's going to be very cold today. Temperatures only into the upper teens out there. Partly cloudy skies and a northwest breeze gusting upwards of 30. So we have wind chill advisories as our wind chills can be upwards of 20 below zero out there. Cold again tonight. Partly cloudy through the evening. Mostly clear overnight. And we'll fall back into the single digits. As we look ahead, another cold one tomorrow. Low 20s and Sunday only into the mid 30s. But as we head into next week, we start to warm up a bit. We'll have rain chances out there. Temperatures at or even above normal. And we could even start making the 50s by next weekend. So just 3 days of really cold weather, and then, as I've mentioned, it's going to start to get a lot better around here.
All right, sounds good. Well, fans of the Kansas City Chiefs aren't just talking about the team's Super Bowl aspirations. They're also infatuated with head coach Andy Reid's frozen mustache.
Saturday's Chiefs game was the coldest game in Arrowhead Stadium history as they beat the Miami Dolphins in the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. It was so cold, Reid's mustache froze up like an icicle. Now, Kansas Bakery is memorializing the iconic look with an Andy Reid cake featuring the frozen stash.
McLean's Bakery and Market in Waldo says response about the cake has been overwhelming.
Certainly fascinating, and another opportunity.
So creative too.
It is
so
very,
good. You know exactly who it is.
yeah, you don't have to look too hard to know about. Oh, okay, I got it. Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning.
And we'll see you right back here today at noon.